Hi, everyone. I'm Taylor Combaluzier, a mining analyst at Red Cloud Securities. This session of our Oktoberfest Fall Mining Showcase will feature Visionary Gold Corp. Visionary Gold is a relatively new gold explorer focused on exploration in the Lewiston Gold District in Wyoming, where it is currently conducting a drill program. From the company, we have with us Wesley Adams, who's the CEO and director. I'll note that if attendees have any questions throughout the presentation, to just submit them using the Q&A link, and we'll get to them at the end of the session. The corporate presentation is also available on the conference website. And with that, I'll turn it over to Wes to walk you through the story.
Thanks, Taylor. Thanks, everybody, for coming to our presentation today. Visionary Gold Company is a relatively new gold explorer. We're focused in Wyoming, and we're targeting high-grade orogenic shear-hosted gold deposits in the Miners Delight Craton, which is a little-known Archean craton in the South Pass Greenstone Belt of Wyoming. So while there hasn't been much gold mining in the past 70 years in Wyoming, for about 100 years, between the 1860s and the 1950s, the Miners Delight Craton was pretty active with high-grade gold production and a lot of placer gold production as well. We've currently consolidated 50 square kilometers in the historic district that has never seen any drilling. And so it's a really exciting time for us. We are able to identify mineralization at surface, use modern methods and a systematic approach to exploration, and identify drill targets that have never been tested before within an area of known gold mineralization where there is abundant surface gold mineralization. So our first target we picked was the Wolf Mine. It's a shear that's exposed at surface for about 1,000 meters. We've sampled it extensively and had really nice mineralization along that surface exposure. We've also ran geochem and traced the shear structure for about 2.5 kilometers. So we're focused on drilling this. We permitted about 3,500 meters to test the initial target. And I think this is going to really open up the entire district for exploration if we can prove that there's some mineralization underneath this targets at the Wolf. So in 2020, we sampled 10 meters of 5 grams a ton, including a meter of 39 grams a ton. And we're following that up with a initial drill program at the Wolf. One thing that's unique about this company is that it's made up of people that have had success before. So my background is at Sandspring Resources, where we raised about $100 million to develop the Turaparo deposit, which is now being taken into production by Gran Colombia, who purchased it for $350 million. Mark Blythe is currently a consultant for the Red Lake Mine in Ontario. He has had a background at Nevsun, which sold for $1.9 billion. And Darren Lindsay's having a lot of success as VPX of Blue Star Gold, where they're drilling in Nunavut and drilling some great intercepts up there. And Darren's been very active with Visionary as well in identifying these targets and helping us develop them. Drew Clark is VP of Corporate Development for Metalla Royalty. He gives us a strong Toronto presence, and John Kandirkis, our chairman, has got 4 years of experience in the oil and gas and mining sector. In addition to a strong board and management team, we also have a strong team of geologists, several guys that have been a part of 10 million ounce plus discoveries. Nuria Zunlar, who's a professor at the School of Mines in South Dakota, helped us discover Turaparo. Pat Hellard was involved in the Piarina discovery in Peru. Gene Spearing spent 9 years as the VPX for Quatera and helped develop Del Valle in Spain and Tasiast as well. And then Dan Housel, who's got a strong local background, has done most of the work in the Miners Delight Craton up here, was also credited with a Thayer Award for his role in the Donlin Creek discovery. So we have a really strong team around us. We also have a strong group of shareholders. Stanley Dempsey Sr., the founder of Royal Gold, this is one of our investors, and he's also helping out with ESG. And I think that's going to be an important part of our development here in Wyoming. We have put in a lot as insiders. I've personally invested quite a bit of money in the company, and then so is our management team. So we actually like to put our money into these things and make sure that new investors are not just investing in us, they're investing with us. And we're fully financed through this year's drill program at the Wolf, and we'll have enough money to get started with our program next year as well. We really are excited about this district because it's been known for high-grade mineralization. And we think there's a lot of size potential here too, because it's a large craton. It's about 30 by 30 miles. And we've tied up a large land position within that. This is a late Archean sedimentary basin. It's an ideal spot to find orogenic gold deposits. And what we've seen so far, this is a textbook sedimentary, textbook turbidite hosted gold mineralization. So we see gray wacky as the host rock. There's a couple of large granite intrusives nearby that are responsible for the mineralization, and the rock is completely sheared and fractured in the mineralized zone. So, we definitely see some strong pathfinder elements in our geochem that line up with the surface gold showings. We're also running some geophysics and identifying targets underneath these structures, and we're drilling the first one this year. I think if we're successful, we're going to have a strong budget to be able to continue next year. So a little bit about Wyoming for those that don't know. It is one of the most resource-friendly states in the U.S. About 39% of the coal that's consumed in the U.S. every year is produced in Wyoming, and it also produces a lot of oil and gas and uranium. But I think as we move away from fossil fuel development, we're going to need to create new jobs in the mineral resource sector. I think gold and base metals exploration and development is a great opportunity for Wyoming. So this is an exploration stage project. There's also a development project that's taking place in Wyoming at the CK Gold Project, where George B. and US Gold are developing that and taking it into permitting and hopefully production as well. I think that's going to kind of open the door for additional development in the state. And, while we believe that gold mining is going to be a big part of Wyoming's future, it certainly was a big part of its past. So gold was first discovered right here where we're exploring in Wyoming in the Miners Delight Formation in the 1860s. And so the major producer was the Carissa, which operated for about 100 years and was, had head grades of anywhere from, 10 grams a ton up to ounce per ton material. We believe there is potential for more deposits like this one that could have some significant size potential too. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that the Wyoming province is actually related to a lot of the Canadian greenstones, which host some of the world's best gold deposits. So, think James Bay, Slave Province, Yellowknife District. That's kind of what we see here in Wyoming. And so all this rock, was related at one point in time. It's all the same age. And that's why we think this is such a great opportunity for us, because it's one of the last Archean greenstone belts in North America that's not been drilled. So zooming in on the Miners Delight Formation, we have two distinct gold trends: the Lewiston trend, where we're focused right now at the Wolf mine, and at our Mint mine, where we've sampled 1.5 to 3 ounce material. And then we have near the intrusive contacts, we have some copper gold showings, a couple of grams of gold, and up to 3% copper in places. And then the Wolf mine, where we've sampled 10 meters of 5 grams a ton, including 1 meter of 39 grams a ton. We also have several parallel structures at the Wolf. So our land position in Lewiston is continuing to grow. We have about 2.5 kilometers of the Wolf Shear Zone claimed, and about a kilometer of that is on patented claims, which is private land, much easier to permit. The rest of our claims are on BLM land, which is where most of the gold mines exist in the US. It's very straightforward from a permitting perspective. And we've taken a big step in really doing a lot of the environmental and cultural work on the front end so that we are able to continue to drill and explore here and develop gold resources in the area. Our Ms claims are the green area. That's where we're seeing the copper gold mineralization at surface. We're doing geochem on all of these claims, including the BM area, which is the old historic Lewiston mining district, which we're working to consolidate. We've got several areas with known gold mineralization there. And what we're trying to do is systematically explore this. We've done 88 line kilometers of geochem sampling this year. And I think that's going to yield several targets for drilling next year. And so the idea is we have success with our drilling at the Wolf shear structure this year, prove our principle, and then we're really going to have a district scale opportunity on our hands. So where we're drilling this year is right underneath where we had a channel sample of 5 grams per ton over 10 meters. We're stepping out and drilling areas where we've sampled 1.5 grams to 2 grams per ton at surface, 500 meters to the north of the Wolf mine, and then south along strike where we have strong gold anomalies as well. So we really believe that there's a potential for parallel shear structures here. The slide on the right kind of illustrates what we see in terms of a gold anomaly at surface, and that correlates very strongly with arsenic anomaly as well, and strong geophysical responses. So we really feel like we have a strong target at the Wolf. What's more interesting, though, is that we see parallel structures that are also mineralized. So while we're focused at the Wolf, 500 meters to the north on a parallel structure, we're sampling up to 5 grams a ton. A kilometer to the north, we're sampling 1.3 grams to 1.6 grams a ton. And our samples at the Wolf have ranged anywhere from 2 grams up to 15 grams from the dump samples, and up to 39 grams from rock chip samples from the exposed outcrops at surface. So really a lot of potential here. And I think that we're going to have a big opportunity to apply what we've learned at the Wolf regionally for next year's permitting of more drill targets. And we're hoping that the drill program at the Wolf this year will actually yield us some good enough results to where we're going to be, drilling a resource next year and not just a, exploration drilling. Underneath the Wolf, we do see an increase in chargeability at depth, indicating that there's a transition into sulfide mineralization. And there's also a resistivity break, which illustrates that the rock is sheared up. We've taken, several high-grade samples at the Wolf, and I think that that's going to give us a strong platform, not only to explore the rest of the Wolf shear structure, but also to explore regionally and apply what we've learned at the Wolf on our new claims. So the drill rig is turning right now. We should start to get results here in the next couple of weeks, and we're hopeful and confident that we're going to make a discovery. I think that's going to really open up the district scale opportunity that we have, where we're, identifying new targets on the 50 square kilometer land package. So with that, I guess we can turn it over to questions if there are any.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Wes. We've got a little under a minute here. Between, as you kind of laid out, doing that systematic exploration and gearing up for additional drilling, in the future, is between that sampling, will you have what you need to get those targets established, or do you need to do some more work?
Yeah, so I think we're going to have several drill ready targets for next year. We did a ton of geochem work. I mean, we covered 88 line kilometers with geochem sampling. So that's a ton of samples. I think it's something like 4,000 samples and counting on the geochem. We've taken about 800 rock chip samples from surface. I think the nice thing about this craton is that there's a lot of surface exposure. So you can really, take surface samples that are representative of what we think's underneath. And that's a big advantage over some of the areas in Canada where you're working, under, 200, feet of glacial till or sedimentary cover. So in this case, we see a lot of the outcrop, kind of like what you see in the, Maguma terrain in some of those areas where you can really see what you're looking at right at surface there.
Perfect. Okay, so we are out of time. Thank you very much for presenting Visionary Gold to us this afternoon.
All right. Thanks a lot, Taylor.